percentage of your database turns over every single year? Well, I've got that information along with a bunch of other stuff I want to share with you this morning. This is the Real Estate Backstory. My name is Alan Rich. I'm the managing broker here at Max One Realtor and Realtor Partners. And I want to jump into our databases for just a little bit because we have a lot of information about databases, but a lot of times we end up chasing cold leads instead of really looking at our database. So I thought, let's look at the numbers and see really like how are things really happening right now when it comes to our databases and those kind of things. So first thing I did was I went in and I jumped into Chat GPT because it's very easy, and I said, okay, well, let's start off with how many owner occupied homes are there in the Atlanta metro area? And so it turns out there's like 2,341,000 homes out there. And then of those, or in addition to that, how many real estate transactions do we have every year in the Atlanta MSA? And this accounts for all the counties around the Atlanta area kind of thing. And so there's roughly between 68 and 69,000 transactions every single year during that same time frame. And so the other big kicker here is, okay, well, but are all those transactions really residential? No, you figure roughly 20% of them are going to be investors. So let's multiply that number times 80%. And this is going to give us some good kind of round figures out there. And so that's going to leave us somewhere around 54 or 55,000 residential real estate transactions a year. And so if you took the number of households divided by the number of transactions, what you come to is that for the Atlanta MSA and all the counties that surround the Atlanta area, we average a 3.5% turnover rate on an annualized basis. So every single year, for every 100 clients that you have, 3.5% are going to turn over. Now, we've had people tell us before, well, that's other folks. That's not really my database. Yes, it is, right? Like these numbers are real. It's not that, oh, only the folks that aren't inside your database, they're buying and selling. No, these are people that are in your sphere of influence that you aren't reaching out to. See, we got some harsh realities that we kind of need to address. And so I think that we just need to kind of grab the bull by the horns. Now, according to the National Association of Realtors, the average realtor's sphere of influence is between 300 and 500 people, right? So 300 to 500 people that are in our database or our sphere of influence. If you just took and you applied that 3.5% ratio to them, then the average real estate agent's database should represent 10 to 18 transactions every single year. Now, the reason that I find this so kind of like striking is, well, a couple of things. First one is I keep hearing, Alan, I need more leads. Oh, if only I had more leads. Do you know where I can get more leads? I need more leads. I need leads, leads, leads. And then everybody has this idea that leads is really what it comes down to. And what the data really shows us is that it's about relationships. It's about showing that you care and engaging with your database. See, I'm frustrated by hearing about all I need is leads, when really what you need is you need relationships with the folks that you already know. So many of the leads that we get, they're cold leads. They don't know you, they don't like you, they don't trust you yet. So you have to build all that. But if you look at the people that's in your sphere of influence, they generally are going to know, like, and trust you. You call cold leads, they may tell you to go pound sand and say bad things about you and your mama. But when you call people in your sphere of influence, are they mean to you? Well, if they are, then they shouldn't be in your sphere of influence. But like you need to be able to reach out and engage. And the great part about when we engage with the folks inside our sphere of influence is that it's not normally a negative or a hostile type of conversation. We're not selling. You should be reaching out into your database, not so that you can sell, but so that you actually have a chance to build a relationship. So when someone in your database is ready to buy or sell, that they're going to use you. In addition, when they meet anyone out in the public and what's going on, that they'll refer you. That happens when you start engaging inside of your database. And so the harsh question you have to ask yourself is, am I engaging with the people in my sphere of influence inside my database, right? So like some questions I hope that you can ask yourself. And the first one is, are you calling them? Are you calling the folks inside your database? Are you sharing with them properties that they may want to see? Because we can do that easily through a lot of our systems and that kind of stuff. And then, if you come across like, I just found this great interest rate on this new construction home, are you telling the folks inside your database about that? If you heard about some kind of great down payment assistance program, are you telling the folks inside your database on there? For the folks that are in your database that own property, are you sharing a market update once a month so that they know what's going on? Are you sending out comparative market analysis or equity assessments for those sellers or for those property owners? They may not be sellers yet, but if you start letting them know how much equity they have, they may be a seller, right? Are you sending text messages out to them? So just to kind of wrap this whole thing up, what I want you to understand is it's not just about leads. Yes, we do need leads, but leads come in the form of filling up our database. Leads are what we use to be able to engage, to bring people always into our database, and then we reach out to the folks inside of our database. And so many of us are missing the forest for the trees. We're not engaging with our database. We're just trying to chase those leads. And the bad part about that is, on average, only about 3% of leads convert. And then we're generating, if you're generating 100 leads, three of them are going to convert. We're just throwing and leaving the other folks just sitting on the ground that will convert, actually with a higher percentage if you get them in your database out there. So the average realtor right now is selling somewhere around 6 homes a year. And if you will engage in your database, you should be selling between 10 and 18 a year. And that's with no leads at all. That's just with the average realtor reaching out and engaging to the average sphere of influence that they have. 3.5% of the folks inside your database are going to buy and sell this year. What are you doing to reach out and to engage with them? So stop cold calling, stop chasing leads, start building relationships inside your database. Have a great week. Bye.